Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro. Now today, we're taking a look at another plant species that we see pretty commonly in bioretention systems. Anyone who knows me knows that I really see the potential for putting trees into bioretention systems, and we'll talk a little bit about why in this episode. So, Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro. Now today, we're taking a look at another plant species that we see really commonly in bioretention systems. Anyone who knows me knows that I see heaps of potential for putting trees into bioretention systems. And this particular plant that we're going to look at today would definitely be one of my go-tos in the tree space for bioretention systems. So what is it? It's Melaleucas. Now, there are a few different types of Melaleucas that I have seen in bioretention systems over time. But the common feature of all of them, and the common name of them, is Melaleucas are known as paperbarks. And you can see on this particular one here, this papery bark that we've got going on there. It's absolutely beautiful. I think this is absolutely stunning. Now before we go any further, I'll just recognise for any of our international viewers, I understand that Melaleucas are a massive problem in like the Everglades in Florida. I apologise that we're doing an episode about what is clearly a noxious weed for you, but bear with me. They've certainly got their function in Australia where they're a native, and they have got heaps of potential. But anyway, so there's three Melaleucas that I've seen commonly, or at least to some degree. One of them's a lot more common than the others, but to some degree in bioretention systems in Queensland. So the one in this system here is Melaleuca Linnea folio. Now you can tell it when you come up to the leaves. So all of them are going to have that papery bark. That's the giveaway that we're looking at a Melaleuca. And then we come up to the leaves here, and hopefully you can just see there that this is a relatively fine leafed plant. So they're if you look at it compared to my fingers here, there we go, that gives a good indication of just how fine those leaves are there. And so this is Linnea folio, and it's a reasonably small tree. It goes to about 10 meters or so. Another Melaleuca, if you go back to one of our earlier videos, our video about streetscape bioretention systems, I think that was video number 5. So if you go back to video number 5, we looked at a few different streetscape bioretention systems there. The third one of those had some trees in it. That was a Melaleuca. That was Melaleuca leucadendra. So it's got a much thicker trunk, it's a much bigger tree, and it's got a beautiful weeping form. It's got a much bigger leaf on it as well. I've seen that used in a number of instances as well. And the final one that we see probably more commonly than both of the others is Melaleuca kannurvia. So it is also known as the broad-leafed paperbark, and as the name suggests, it has a much broader leaf. So its leaf is probably, not quite as long as your finger, maybe 2/3 the length of your finger, something like that, and probably a little bit broader than your finger. Obviously that's a pretty rough estimate. You should jump online, grab these names. Actually, if you go to the website, we'll write the name of each of those three species in the notes for the episode, and then you can Google them and identify them a little bit easier. So, why is it that I think Melaleucas are a really good option in bioretention systems? Well, let's talk trees more generally. I see a bunch of potential for trees. Now, it's not to say we need to have them in all systems, right? But when there's an opportunity, particularly in precinct scale systems or larger systems like this one, I see heaps of potential for trees. There's a couple of reasons. One, they can do a really good job at pollutant removal. Melaleucas have been tested, a number of different species, obviously not every species, right? There's thousands of different species of tree, grass and sedge and all sorts of stuff in the world. We can't test every one, but some species of Melaleuca have been tested and do really quite well in the pollutant removal stakes. So that's one good reason to use them. Reason number 2 is that some of the Melaleuca species that have been tested have been shown to do really well at breaking up the filter media. So this is important because we want the filter media to stay porous over time. And one way we can help that is by getting trees with vigorous root systems that are constantly getting in, breaking up the media and keeping it draining. And the Melaleucas that have been tested by Monash University, I can't actually remember which Melaleucas it is. It might not even be one of the 3 that we're talking about. I have a sneaking suspicion it's not. But Melaleucas of some description have been shown to be good at that breaking up the filter media. And anecdotally, I would suggest that kannurvia is quite good at this too, because the oldest bioretention system in Queensland, which is the Hoyland Street system on Brisbane's north, has Melaleuca kannurvia in it, and it is now essentially bang on 15 years old, which is pretty cool. So, yes, trees and Melaleucas, good for pollutant removal, good for breaking up the media, and they're also good for helping to outcompete the weeds. So I'm walking around in this system for a reason, because you can see over there where the trees end and the sunlight starts. So we've got lots of these weedy grass species invading. But we shoot down into here where there's shade and where there's some leaf litter, and guess what? There's less weeds under here. I think from a maintenance point of view that trees have heaps of potential, and Melaleucas have got this track record of surviving in bioretention systems because it quite well, they're quite adaptable, and it quite well mimics their natural habitat. And this is a good indication of this. So in some parts of, so obviously different Melaleuca species will have slightly different habitats and stuff, right? So this isn't a blanket statement across the board, but I've seen Melaleucas growing in wetlands that have standing water, and you can actually see them. They will start to build, obviously this isn't a Melaleuca, but we'll use it as an example. When they're in a standing water environment, it's got to be shallow, right? But they'll actually start to accumulate sediment up around the edges of the system and build up a little island for themselves to keep some of their roots out of the standing water. So they're adaptable at that end of it, can really tolerate lots of water. But equally, and that's why I was walking over here to find you, so in this bushland next to this bioretention system, we will, if we look around long enough, find some Melaleuca. Hopefully it doesn't show me up here. I saw some before. Oh, here's one. Yes, what is this? Oh, here we go. This is kannurvia. Cool, so I couldn't show you its leaf before. You see how that is a bigger, broader leaf? This is a Melaleuca kannurvia. Anyway, the point is, you see it growing here. This is, it's not in the water. It's in really quite dry ground just there. And that's testament to its adaptability. And that's great for bioretention systems, right? Because they're going to be really dry the majority of the time. And then, every now and again, it's going to rain and then get really wet for a short period of time. So the Melaleucas are great for that reason. And this is why we see them stand the test of time in the older bioretention systems in Queensland that we've seen them put into. So, is there anything else that I want to touch off on right now with the Melaleucas? No, look, that's probably it. I would encourage you to take a look at them. If you're somewhere that, we used this Florida Everglades example before. Let's say you're in Florida, and Melaleucas are certainly not on the cards if you're in Florida. Then have a think about it. Have a look around and go, okay, what were the functional indicators that we talked about today? Well, we had a plant species that was really adaptable. We had a plant species that's got a little bit of leaf drop happening there. We had a plant species that's got a relatively vigorous root system. What could we find from our own native planting palette that fits those criteria that we might be able to try in place of the Melaleuca, which isn't appropriate for our context? And you could apply that in other parts of Australia. Maybe for some reason you don't want to put a Melaleuca in a system, but you can apply the same thinking that makes Melaleucas successful here to look for other species. What's adaptable, what can deal with both wet and dry, what has a bit of leaf drop and good shade to suppress weeds, what has a vigorous root system, and so on and so forth. Okay, sweet. We'll spin this back around. Thanks for tuning into this episode. I hope you found that interesting. If you would like to find out more about what it is that we do at Ideanthro, you can find us in a number of different ways. Obviously, there's the website at ideanthro.com where you can find our episodes and projects that we're working on, find out more about us. You can also sign up to our mailing list there. If you go to the front page, scroll to the bottom, there's a quick and easy sign up there. You can also find us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Ideanthro. And you can find us on YouTube. You can subscribe to the channel because we put all our videos up there. Sweet. Thanks for watching. Have a great time, and we'll see you soon. Bye.